The town of Ravenwood had always been quiet, its secrets buried deep. But whispers grew louder as the years went on. Tales of a ghost that roamed the forest beyond the old church. The locals called it the lost soul, a restless spirit bound to Ravenwood, seeking vengeance for the injustice it suffered in life. Act 1. The arrival. Emma, a young journalist, had come to Ravenwood to investigate the mysterious disappearances that had haunted the town for decades. Residents spoke in hushed tones of strange lights flickering in the woods at night and eerie voices echoing through the trees. Intrigued by the legends and determined to find the truth, Emma ventured into the forest one misty evening, armed with her notebook and flashlight. The deeper she went, the colder it got. Suddenly, she felt a shiver down her spine as a faint whisper echoed around her. Justice, justice. The voice was cold, filled with sorrow and anger. Emma stopped, heart racing, scanning the trees for any sign of life. But she was alone, or so she thought. Act 2. The tale of Eleanor Gray. The townsfolk revealed that over a century ago, a young woman named Eleanor Gray had lived in Ravenwood. She was kind and gentle, a healer who cared for the sick and the poor. But when a wealthy landowner's son fell ill and died despite her efforts, Eleanor was accused of witchcraft. The townspeople, consumed by fear and superstition, turned on her. They dragged her into the forest, tied her to a tree, and left her there to die. Since then, strange occurrences had plagued Ravenwood. Anyone who ventured too far into the forest alone would either vanish without a trace or return in a state of shock, their minds shattered. Some even claimed that they had seen Eleanor's ghost, her face pale and mournful, her eyes filled with a wrath that chilled them to the bone. Act 3. The encounter. One night, Emma decided to return to the forest, determined to communicate with Eleanor's spirit. She carried a small, white candle and recited an ancient incantation she had found in her research. As she walked deeper into the woods, the air grew colder, and a thick fog began to swirl around her. The candle flickered, and then, in the distance, she saw her, a figure dressed in tattered, old-fashioned clothing, her hair flowing like mist. "Eleanor," Emma whispered, her voice trembling. The figure nodded, stepping closer, and Emma saw the sorrow etched into her ghostly face. Eleanor's voice echoed in her mind. "They wronged me, left me to die. Justice was denied to me, and I am bound here, seeking vengeance." Emma felt a pang of empathy for the lost soul. She asked, "Is there anything I can do to help you find peace?" Eleanor's eyes flashed with a mix of hope and anger. "Bring them to justice," she said. "Let the truth be known, so that I may rest." Act 4. Uncovering the truth. Emma devoted herself to investigating Eleanor's story, searching through old records, diaries, and town archives. She discovered evidence of corruption, linking the town's leaders to Eleanor's wrongful death. They had fabricated evidence to protect the landowner's son, casting Eleanor as a scapegoat. Emma uncovered the truth that had been hidden for so long. Determined to give Eleanor the justice she deserved, Emma wrote a scathing article exposing the town's dark past, bringing the story of Eleanor Gray to light. The article spread quickly, stirring public outrage. The townspeople held a ceremony in the forest to formally apologize for the injustice and to recognize Eleanor's innocence. A stone monument was placed at the site where she had died, finally honoring her memory. On the night of the ceremony, Emma returned to the forest, hoping to see Eleanor one last time. She waited under the ancient tree where Eleanor had been bound, the cold night air filled with a strange calm. Suddenly, a soft glow appeared, and Eleanor's spirit emerged from the shadows. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice filled with peace. "The truth has set me free." As Emma watched, Eleanor's form began to dissolve, her face peaceful and content. The sorrow in her eyes faded, replaced by a faint smile. She drifted upward, a soft light shimmering as she disappeared into the night. Emma stood there, overwhelmed with a bittersweet feeling of relief and sadness. The lost soul of Ravenwood was finally at peace, her story known, her vengeance complete. Epilogue: The legacy of Eleanor Gray after Eleanor's story was revealed. The town of Ravenwood transformed. The townspeople embraced her legacy, honoring her as a healer wronged by the ignorance and fear of the past. And every year, on the anniversary of Eleanor's death, the town gathered at her monument to remember the cost of their ancestors' actions and to pledge themselves to justice and compassion. And though Eleanor's spirit had been set free, locals still claimed to hear a soft whisper in the wind when the night was quiet, a voice murmuring, "Thank you." The end.